Is going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome to Steelers Almighty. It is game day, ladies and gentlemen. It is game day. Steelers against the Denver Broncos. I'm hyped. I'm ready for the football game. We got some stuff to talk about. We won't keep you too long here today, leading you up to game time. But let's get excited, man. Let's get excited. The Steelers, this is an opportunity. We're looking around the league. Look at our division. Baltimore struggling against the Raiders. The Bengals got to play in Kansas City. The Browns are in a dogfight with Jacksonville. This is a big opportunity, man, for the Steelers to get a win and to get up even more in the division. I mean, everybody had a loss last week, so we'll see exactly what happens. But like I said, this is a big shot here. Big place for the Steelers to see what they can do moving forward. Just concentrating on the game. Look, the Steelers, this is a game that they should win. And I'm going to come out and say it immediately, right off the top, people. I understand this is literally a game that Mike Tomlin loses. That's not to jinx it, but we all know that this is a game that, oh, yeah, the Steelers are better, but it's on the road. The matchups are in their favor. They should win this game. And in years past, it seems like the last 5-6 years, the Steelers lose this type of game. We can't do that. We cannot do that. This is too big of an opportunity. Again, we know what lingers down the road with the Steelers schedule. This is a win. When everybody looked at the schedule, when the schedule came out, I would say everybody minus Bronco fans put this game down as a victory. Now, I know you got your Colin Cowherds who said the Steelers are going to lose, yada, 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 whatever. I mean, he hadn't liked the Steelers in decades. I mean, he just doesn't. It is what it is. That's his stick, and he's going to stick to it. Okay, I get it. But this is a game that we have to win. Look, let's look at some of the key matchups here. Look, I talked about it in our breakdown, the scouting report. I think Arthur Smith has got to take his foot or put his foot on the gas pedal a little bit, take his foot off the brakes, open up the offense a little bit more for Justin Fields. Fields obviously is going to be the starter. It's time to throw the ball down the middle of the field, and let's utilize the middle of the field. Freiermuth, just whoever, Freiermuth, Van Jefferson, Darnell Washington, whoever you want to put in there, we got to utilize the middle of the field. Vance Joseph did a pretty good job last week with all things considering. That's the defensive coordinator for the Broncos. But I think this is an opportunity for the Steelers to take a step forward. So that'll be a key matchup, our offensive coordinator versus their defensive coordinator. But outside of that, where do you see that the Broncos have an advantage? Like, where would you look at and say, oh, well, this is a clear advantage for the Broncos? The one area that I would say is the Steelers wide receivers against the Broncos secondary. Now that I would say that the Broncos have an advantage because outside of George Pickens, we are what we are. But that would be the only place that I say that the Broncos have an advantage. Everything that the Broncos bring to the table on offense, we have an advantage with our defense. Every single aspect. So there's that. I also think the Steelers, if done well, or just with some imagination, they have the advantage when we decide to run the football. So if we got the advantage running it, our defense has the advantage all across the board, then this has got to be a game that is won by the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't see where I just don't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it can't happen. All I'm saying is the Steelers should have the advantage here. They should be able to go out. I'm not saying this game's going to be a blowout. I actually think it's going to be a dogfight. I think the Steelers win. They may get a late touchdown and then hold off the win at the end of the game. Okay. It's on the road, hostile crowd, first home game for the Denver Broncos. They're going to be into it. They may get out early, punch us in the mouth early. That's okay. You don't have to get knocked out in the first quarter. Okay? Withstand the punch, get up, and then start firing back some punches of your own. I expect that from the difference. Like last week, you say, well, it was a road game last week. The difference was 35% of that crowd in Atlanta were Steeler fans. That's not going to be the case today. That we're not getting 35% of the fans inside of that stadium in Denver today. Nope, nope, nope. There'll be some, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be like that. So we got to put that out of our mind. That ain't happening. Denver, too good a crowd. First home game. Uh, First of all, it's a long way. Not that many Steeler fans are probably even in Denver or in the surrounding areas. Even though we're everywhere, Denver fans are good fans. They're going to show up. So this will be a true test of a road game. Last week, I'm not sure that was really a test of a road game. Matter of fact, I'm positive it wasn't. We just didn't play in Pittsburgh. But as far as crowd support, yeah, we were just fine. We were just fine. So big time as far as on the road. I think that matters a little bit more this week. We've won the last two games against the Broncos. They own the series history, 20-13, and we've had one tie. So, but the last two games the Steelers have won. Look, as far as this, I say it's a must win. I know people are going to say, come on, Big B, what are you talking about? It's the second game of the year. What do you mean it's a must win game? Well, the reason it's must win is because we know what's down the road. The Steelers are better than the Broncos, or at least they should be better. You got to win the game. It's just that simple. No giveaways in the National Football League. No giveaway games. And we can't just, we're going to walk in. We need to play good football and go win the game. But we can't, we're just going to win and just roll out there. And the next thing you know, they're up 17 points in the first quarter and we're having to fight back and we can't claw our way back into the game. That can't be what happens. Can't be what happens, because I'm afraid if it is, we don't have the type of offense to be able to climb out of a hole like that. So that's the first thing. We may not have that type of offense. So we'll see. I think we got to get the running game going a little bit more this week. I think we'll have some opportunities. Najee ran hard. Hopefully Jaylen Warren's a little more healthy. I didn't like all the touches that Cordell Patterson got last week. Look, he's fine. Don't get me wrong. But we need Jaylen Warren to get the ball more. I still believe that hamstring is still bothering him. Hopefully it's feeling a little bit better this week, because we need him out there a little bit more. I think we do. I still think we got to use Pat Freiermuth more over the middle. We got to use him going down the field. We've got to be able to do that. Because if we're not going to do that, I mean, we're wasting our time. We got to be able to. Last week, I get it. Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, two big-time safeties, maybe the best safety tandem in the entire NFL. You're not wanting to take a whole lot of chances down the middle of the field. I can understand that. This week is different. So this week is totally different. We got to be able to take advantage and try to go down the middle of the field. Defense, just keep flying around. Just keep flying around. Initially, stop the run, because I think Denver's going to want to establish the run early to take some pressure off of Bo Nix, but more importantly, take some pressure off of those tackles trying to block TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith. So they're going to want to try to run the ball and run it effectively early. We got to stop it. We got early downs. We got to stop it. And if we do that and we force them into passing situations, then it's Katie bar the door. Steelers didn't do a whole lot of blitzing last week because I think the defensive staff was like, they can't block us. We don't need to bring a bunch of exotic blitzes or anything. They literally just can't block four of us. They can't do it. And since they can't, we're not going to blitz. We're going to play coverage. I think they're going to try to confuse the rookie quarterback. I think we might bring some zone blitzes. We're going to do some things, mix up coverages a ton to try to confuse him. And we'll go from there. But none of that works. And I repeat, none of that works unless they stop the run initially. If they do that and they get out and they stop the run, then boom, then we got a shot. then all that other stuff that comes along with confusing our young rookie quarterback, yeah, that'll come into play. So that'll come into play. Let's see. What do we got here in the comments? I like this one. My man Davis. Knowing Peyton, yeah, he'll try to score early. Yes, he will. Yeah. I mean, he's going to be very aggressive. It's going to be up to Pittsburgh to match that level of intensity that Denver's going to bring initially. They're going to get that energy boost just because it's the first home game and the crowd is going to be into the game. So they got to match that. Just match it head for head. Go right at it. And if they do that, then we may be okay, early on in the game. But yeah, Denver's going to come right at us. We just got to go right back at them. I like that comment. So, would elevation be an advantage today? It will be for Denver. It will be for Denver, which is why the Steelers got to run the football. Keep the defense as fresh as possible. Run the football, own the time of possession. Because, look, you don't want your guys out there 34, your defense anyway, 34, 35, 36 minutes. That's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Again, it's early in the season. It's going to be perfect weather, but not humidity, but altitude it's a real thing. It's a real thing. So thinner air. So we're just going to have to figure it out again. Let your offense take care of some of that for you by staying on the field. Get some sustained drives. So what else do we got? A couple of things, but man, I don't speak Spanish, so I can't talk about it. So, Here's one. Freiermuth needs to go off today, both taking some deep seams and being a safety blanket. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I definitely don't disagree with that. You know, Freiermuth's got to get going. Last week, it was fine. It was fine. But here's what I do know. We didn't pay Pat Freiermuth all this money to throw him 4 passes for 27. What was it, 27 yards, 22 yards, something like that? You're not paying your tight end for that, okay? And not to mention, he's better than that. He's better than that. Part of that is play calling. Part of that is Justin Fields. Part of it is Pat Freiermuth. So we got all that mixed together, and we'll find out exactly what's going on. But, yeah, I'm pumped for the game, man. I'm excited. Like I said, I think it's a real opportunity for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get after this. It is a real opportunity for the Steelers to get after it. So if they can win, like I said, what's going on in our division today, who knows what it may look like by game time. But I'm just telling you, this is a win. This is a game that everybody penciled in as a win. I think a lot of people last week penciled last week's game as a loss. Well, that doesn't say, oh, well, we won a game we weren't supposed to. It's okay if we lose this one. No, hell no. Hell no. Win. Go win. We've got plenty of games that we could possibly lose. Plenty of those. This shouldn't be one of them. It just shouldn't be. So we got to get after it early. Knock out any of the momentum that Denver's going to come to the game just because it's their first home game. Big crowd, raucous crowd, and it is. And go match that intensity early on. Go get some points, a touchdown preferably, not settling for a field goal. And let's get this thing figured out, man. By the way, we will be back right after the game, 15 minutes, I should say, after the game today. We're going to be right back in here talking about exactly what happened with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Denver Broncos. So we're going to get off. We're going to let y'all enjoy the rest of these games leading up to game time today. But this is one that the Steelers got to win, people. This is one we got to win. Cannot rest on our laurels and think, hey, we got away with one last week so we can just sit back and relax. Absolutely not. We can take advantage of this. If we got away with one last week, if that's what we believe or people believe, great. Well, this one we're going to take advantage of because this is one that we should win. So I'll be back, like I said, 15 minutes after the game. Make sure everybody's in here. Remember, if you haven't already, like, follow, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I will holler at you guys, man. Let's get after it. Let's go get this win today. Let's go get this win today, people. Let's do it. Let's do it. Here we go.